Her name was Eleanor Grayson, a young, vibrant heiress to one of the largest fortunes in the country. She had everything: beauty, wealth, and a life most could only dream of. But on a cold November night in 1987, Eleanor vanished without a trace. What followed was a labyrinth of lies, betrayal, and a shocking twist that no one saw coming. This is the story of the vanishing heiress. Eleanor was last seen leaving a charity gala at the Grayson family estate. Witnesses reported she seemed distracted, even anxious, as she slipped out the back door. Her car was found abandoned the next morning on a remote country road, the keys still in the ignition. But Eleanor was nowhere to be found. At first, the police suspected a kidnapping. The Grayson family was wealthy after all, and ransom demands were expected. But days turned into weeks, and no call ever came. Enter Charles Whitaker, Eleanor's charming fiancé. On the surface, Charles was the perfect match. Handsome, successful, and deeply in love with Eleanor. But as the investigation deepened, cracks began to show. Detectives discovered that Charles had been secretly funneling money from Eleanor's trust fund. When confronted, he claimed it was for a business venture. But the timing was suspicious. Was Charles involved in Eleanor's disappearance? Or was he just a man in over his head? Then a breakthrough. A hiker stumbled upon a shallow grave in the woods just miles from where Eleanor's car was found. The remains were badly decomposed, but dental records confirmed it was Eleanor. The case seemed closed until the autopsy revealed something shocking. Eleanor had been poisoned. Not with a common substance, but with a rare toxin that could only be obtained by someone with access to a high-level laboratory. Suddenly, the case took a sinister turn. Charles was arrested and charged with Eleanor's murder. The trial was a media sensation, with every detail of their relationship scrutinized. But just when it seemed like justice would be served, a bombshell revelation turned the case upside down. A woman came forward, claiming she had seen Eleanor alive after the date of her supposed death. She testified that Eleanor had faked her own death to escape a life of control and manipulation. But if that were true, who was in the grave? The defense argued that Eleanor had staged her own disappearance, using her knowledge of chemistry to plant fake evidence. But the prosecution insisted Charles was the mastermind, using the same knowledge to cover his tracks. The jury was left with an impossible decision. Years later, a letter surfaced, allegedly written by Eleanor. In it, she confessed to faking her death and starting a new life far away. But the letter was never authenticated, and the truth remains a mystery. Was Eleanor Grayson a victim of a brutal crime? Or was she a woman who chose to vanish into the shadows, leaving behind a trail of questions? The truth may never be known, but one thing is certain: this twisted tale of betrayal and deception will haunt us forever.